Researchers are hoping this new technology could eventually be introduced to zoos right around the world. But for visitors here at Melbourne Zoo, they may be lucky enough to experience it for themselves, with the trial running sporadically throughout the rest of the month.
I haven't had the best track record when it comes to the MonsterVerse movies, considering most of them to be horribly constructed and paced. Well, except Skull Island, I actually kind of like that one. And I had fully expected Godzilla x Kong to be yet another poorly put together piece of crap to add to a year that's already full of it. Instead, I was pleasantly surprised to find that Godzilla x Kong did something I never expected it to do. It fixed pretty much all the problems I had with the MonsterVerse by doing something it should have done a long time ago: weaponizing stupidity. When it comes to stupidity in movies, there's two ways a film can be stupid. One is being boring stupid, where everything is ridiculous, but it just makes you roll your eyes and shake your head rather than being entertaining. For example, Argyle. The other is to be fun stupid, where everything is so incredibly stupid that you can't help but laugh at it, and where it's clear that the creators understand their film is stupid and are just sort of rolling with it. For example, the entire Fast and Furious franchise. I'm very happy to say that Godzilla x Kong falls more in line with fun stupid than boring stupid. And if you're curious how, then allow me to tell you as we dive into Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. The film takes place a few years after the events of Godzilla vs. Kong, and finds both of the titular monsters just sort of hanging around and doing what they do best: causing maximum damage. Kong soon stumbles upon a new foe, the Scar King, a powerful giant ape similar to Kong. Now, Kong has to team up with Godzilla in order to save the Earth from destruction by destroying a little bit of it themselves. This movie feels like the director fully understands that what he is making is absolutely ridiculous, and goes as far as he can to make sure that the audience is thoroughly entertained. I said this movie fixes the issues I had with the MonsterVerse, so allow me to take the time now to explain myself. Issue number 1. Godzilla as a good guy. I'm fully in the camp that believes that Godzilla shouldn't be considered a good guy, which is something that previous entries in the MonsterVerse had been adamant on. Note, if you like Godzilla as a good guy, then that's your opinion and you're fully entitled to it. I'm just giving you my opinion so that you can further understand my understanding.
What do you mean you don't agree with me? Do you know who you're dealing with?
But this movie shows a different perspective to this Godzilla by stating that he is the Earth's protector, but he doesn't really give a crap about the lives of humans, and is shown multiple times going out of his way to endanger or harm humans, which fixes my first issue. Issue number 2, Hollow Earth. I hated this idea once it was introduced in Godzilla vs. Kong. The idea that there's a whole world under the earth and all I had to do was dig really far down is the type of boring stupid that I was talking about earlier. But this movie slightly retconned the previous movie, and for once, retconning is actually a good thing, because it changes Hollow Earth to be sort of like it's another dimension, which to me is way more understandable and reasonable. And finally, issue number 3, The Boring Humans. Humans in monster movies aren't meant to really be that memorable, unless you're modern Toho, and are mainly reserved for being inserts for the audience to fill to see the monsters. This film doesn't really fix the issue, but it does downplay it by having not a lot of focus on the humans, and instead focusing squarely on the reason everyone came to see the movie: the monsters. Speaking of giant monster fights, the action in this movie was a blast to watch, focusing more on slapstick, which emulated the original rubber suit Godzilla movies, which really works well with the monster movies that had me with a smile from beginning to end, which is honestly really refreshing considering the other movies this year. I honestly feel that Godzilla is in a really good place right now. If you want serious, grounded storytelling, then you have the modern Toho movies like Shin Godzilla and Godzilla -1. And if you just want a bunch of slapstick silliness, then you have movies like Godzilla x Kong, which I think is pretty cool to have two very different but still viable versions of the character running at the same time. In summary, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire is an absolute blast that anyone can hop into and have a good time. It may not have the fantastic characters and story of something like -1, but I feel that it's okay for there to be more than one way to enjoy a character. So, for the first time ever, I can now wholeheartedly say that I'm excited to see where the Monsterverse goes next. That's all I got for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified for whenever I make a new video. The next movie review should be Monkey Man, but I also talk about TV shows and video games on this channel. So if you're interested in that, or interested in supporting the channel more, then go check those videos out. Okay, that's it. Bye.